If you rely on your state pension, PIP, universal credit, or any other DWP payment to get through the month, then what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes could genuinely make a difference to your financial security, not just this week, not just this month, but going forward as the DWP's latest payment schedules and benefit updates begin to take effect. I want you to stop what you're doing right now and watch this video all the way through, because there are several updates in here that thousands of claimants and pensioners simply haven't been told about yet. And if you miss even one of them, it could mean the difference between your money arriving when you're expecting it, or a gap that leaves you short when the bills are due. We all know how tight things are at the moment. Energy bills, food shopping, rent, council tax, the cost of living continues to put real pressure on household budgets across the UK, particularly for those of us who are retired, disabled, or relying on benefits as our main source of income. When your payment is your lifeline, knowing exactly when it's arriving isn't a small thing. It's everything. And right now, in June 2026, there are updated payment dates, processing changes, and eligibility details that every pensioner, PIP claimant, and universal credit recipient absolutely needs to know about. Some of what I'm going to cover will come as a surprise. So please stay with me until the end, because the detail I'll be sharing later about one particular payment group affects a very large number of people, and most of them have no idea. Let's start with the state pension, because this affects millions of people across England, Scotland, and Wales. The state pension is paid every 4 weeks, or in some cases every week, depending on when you claimed and how your payments are set up. But here's something that catches people out time and time again. If your usual payment date falls on a bank holiday or a weekend, the DWP will typically bring that payment forward. That means your money can arrive earlier than you expect, which sounds like good news, but it can actually cause problems if you're not prepared. Direct debits, standing orders, and automatic bill payments don't always move with your pension. So if your pension arrives 2 days early, but your rent or utility direct debit goes out on the scheduled date, you might find yourself spending money that still needs to cover those outgoings. It's worth taking a moment this week to check your bank statements and your payment schedule side by side. Now for June 2026, specifically, the DWP has confirmed its updated payment processing schedules, and there are some dates that pensioners and benefit claimants need to be aware of. I'll be going through those in detail shortly, but before I do, and I really don't want you to miss this, there's a crucial update about PIP that I'll be covering a little further on in this video. It relates to how payment reviews are being managed this summer and what it could mean for your ongoing award. Please don't skip ahead. It's important and the context matters. Back to the state pension for a moment. If you're receiving the full new state pension, you'll know that the amount increased in April following the triple lock guarantee. That rise has now been factored into all DWP payment schedules going forward. However, what many people haven't realized is that for those receiving a combination of basic state pension and additional pension components, including SERPs or state second pension, the way those elements are calculated and paid can sometimes differ slightly in timing. If you've noticed any discrepancy in your recent payments, it's worth contacting the pension service directly to confirm your breakdown. Don't assume an error is harmless. Always check. Now let's talk about pension credit, because this is one of the most underclaimed benefits in the entire UK benefit system, and it genuinely troubles me that so many eligible people are missing out. Pension credit is designed to top up your weekly income if you're over state pension age and your money falls below a certain threshold. It's not just a small top-up either. For many people, it can be worth hundreds of pounds every year. And crucially, it can open the door to other support, including help with council tax, housing costs, and even a free TV license for those aged 75 and over. If you haven't checked your eligibility recently, please do so. The government's own figures suggest hundreds of thousands of pensioners who are entitled to pension credit are not currently claiming it. That's money sitting uncollected while people struggle to heat their homes and buy their groceries. But that's not the biggest update in this video. Stay with me, because what's coming up about universal credit payment dates this month is something that a significant number of claimants need to hear right now. Universal credit is paid monthly in arrears, which means there's always a built-in wait before your first payment arrives when you first claim. But for existing claimants, your payment date is fixed based on your assessment period. Now, here's where June 2026 brings something worth paying close attention to. The DWP has confirmed that any universal credit payment date falling on certain dates in June, specifically around the bank holiday periods and weekends, will be subject to the standard advance payment rule. This means payments may process earlier into your bank account than the date you see in your online journal. For most people, this is helpful, but if you use that payment date to time your direct debits for rent, broadband, or utilities, an earlier arrival can shift your budgeting window and potentially cause confusion if you're not watching your account carefully. There's another payment detail you need to know. If you're on universal credit and also receiving a limited capability for work or limited capability for work-related activity element, your total monthly amount will look different to someone on standard allowance. These additional elements are processed as part of your overall universal credit award, but delays or reviews in your health-related component can temporarily affect the total you see arriving in your account. If your June payment looks lower than expected, check your statement breakdown in your online journal before panicking. There may be a legitimate explanation, but there may also be an error, and you have every right to challenge it. Now, the update many of you have been waiting for. PIP, Personal Independence Payment. This is a benefit that provides vital support for people living with long-term health conditions or disabilities, and right now the DWP is in the middle of its updated review and reassessment cycle for the summer of 2026. What this means in practice is that a number of existing PIP claimants are receiving review letters, and some are being asked to complete updated PIP2 questionnaires or attend consultations. If you've received a letter about your PIP award review, please do not ignore it. Missing a deadline can put your entire award at risk, even if you're clearly still eligible. If you need help completing your form, organizations like Citizens Advice, Age UK, and Scope offer free support, and I'd strongly encourage you to use them. For PIP claimants whose awards are not currently under review, your payment dates remain on your usual 4-weekly schedule. However, as with the state pension, any dates falling across bank holidays in June will be processed according to DWP's standard early payment rules. Check your payment schedule, compare it to your bill's calendar, and make sure your budget reflects the actual dates your money will land. Stay with me because there's still more to cover. And the next part is particularly important for carers and those receiving attendance allowance. Carers allowance continues to be paid weekly or in arrears depending on your arrangement with the DWP. One thing carers sometimes overlook is the earnings threshold. If you're working alongside your caring responsibilities, even a modest increase in your income can affect your carer's allowance entitlement. With wages rising in some sectors, it's worth double-checking that your earnings haven't nudged above the current limit. If they have, you need to inform the DWP to avoid an overpayment that could come back to haunt you later. Attendance allowance, meanwhile, remains a non-means-tested benefit for people over state pension age who need help due to illness or disability. It is not affected by your savings or income, which is why it's so important that everyone who qualifies is claiming it. Payment dates for attendance allowance follow a similar schedule to PIP, with the same bank holiday provisions applying in June. Again, check your bank and compare against your expected date. Most claimants are overlooking this. The DWP does have a dedicated helpline and an online service for checking your payment status. If your payment is late or if the amount doesn't match what you were expecting, the very first thing you should do is check your online account or call the relevant DWP line for your benefit. Don't wait. Late payments can cascade into problems with rent arrears, missed bills, and unnecessary stress. Act quickly and keep a note of any reference numbers you're given. Now, let's do a quick recap of the most important points from today's video, because I want to make sure you're leaving here with everything you need. State pension payments in June 2026 follow the latest DWP schedule, with bank holiday advance payment rules applying to relevant dates. Check your expected payment date against your bills. Pension credit remains massively underclaimed and could be worth hundreds of pounds to eligible pensioners. If you haven't checked, do it this week. Universal credit monthly payments may arrive earlier than your usual journal date if your payment date falls on a weekend or bank holiday. Update your budgeting calendar accordingly. PIP claimants receiving review letters must respond promptly and seek support from advice services if needed. Carers allowance claimants should check their earnings regularly to ensure they remain within the threshold. And attendance allowance is available to anyone over state pension age with a qualifying condition. Don't leave that money unclaimed. The cost of living isn't getting easier overnight, but staying informed about exactly when and how your payments are being processed is one of the most powerful things you can do to protect your household finances. Knowledge really is money when it comes to your DWP benefits. If this video has helped you, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps us reach more people who need this information. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We cover state pension changes, PIP updates, universal credit payment news, attendance allowance, pension credit, carer's allowance, and all the latest cost of living support every single week. There are people watching this channel who have claimed hundreds of pounds in benefits they didn't know they were entitled to. Your next update could be just as important. We'll see you in the next video.